During this video, I just want to talk about the procedure for setting up these feedback surveys in the learning management system so they can be distributed to the students. So I'll be releasing a procedure. The procedure will have three parts: the learning management system part, generating the link in Vet Survey, and what's to occur during the session. So if we look at the first part, which relates to learning management system, what we need to do is we need to put the surveys onto the learning management system. So as you can see here, this is the quizzes part where all our normal quizzes for the course. So this is for PD, but imagine this is massage. You've got all your assessments listed here under the quizzes section. But we're going to have some extra ones, which are going to be the week 1 survey, the week 8 survey, and the end of course survey. So you're going to need to set these up in the various courses. Now, as I'll talk about later, even though they're set up in Edu on Go, they're not going to be hooked or linked into Circulate, because we don't want these reporting to VetTrack as a requirement. So again, manage questions. What you need to do is you need to have a true and false question. Again, worth 1. And the answer needs to be true. So what you need to do is you need to go back to this document and you need to copy part 4 and paste it in. Okay, basically this is the instructions for the students that they need to fill the feedback in after completing the survey. Complete the true false question at the bottom of the page, and they're acknowledging that they have completed the survey. The survey that is discussed, as you can see up here, please complete this feedback survey contained in the link below. Here's the link below. Okay, obviously I've just got an example in here, so if I remove that, this is where you need to take your URL that you copy from Vet Survey. So we're going to discuss that now, but this is going to be different for every single class. So this part here is all going to be the same, but the link you put in here is going to be different. So it's not like you can actually at the start of the course say, okay, for all academies, I'm going to copy this assessment task, because all academies are going to have different teachers and different venues. So this can all be put in at the start, but this is going to need to be populated class by class. So if we go to Vet Survey, what we do is we go to Build URL. So once we're in Build URL, you need to use these drop-down boxes. So the first 3 are the key ones. You need to go to what survey you want. So we're going to go to Feedback Form Week 1. Course. You're going to choose the course it relates to. So in this case, we'll write this. Facilitator. So the homeroom teacher. And the location. So you populate all that. And then what happens here is a URL is developed. Now, as we change any of these fields, this changes. So you need to make sure that you wait till you've populated all these before you actually copy the URL. So I'm going to copy the URL. And that's it for there. So I've copied the URL. Now I go back to Edu on Go. So now that I've copied the URL from Vet Survey, it needs to be put in here. Remember, you can't just go paste and have it in there, because even though that looks like you've added the URL, that's not going to work. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that you actually add it as a link. So you come up here, add it, and see how now it looks different because it's in blue and it's got the line underneath. So that's a link that's been properly added. Save. And then now if we look at the question, okay, you got a question there with a link and then a true and false question. So when they complete the survey, they'll have their message come up from Vet Survey that says thank you for doing this. Then they need to come back in here and click true as part of achieving this, and then go save. Okay, so if we go out of there now, what you can see is in the grades page, at the end, you'll have week 1 survey. So from Justin Healy, I've done the week 1 survey. So again, we've got a way of checking who's done it. So the students are going to have it in there like an assessment task. They're going to see it like an assessment task and a pretty it becomes pretty clear that they need to do it rather than relying on emails and not knowing who's done it and who hasn't. Okay, so now that we've done that, that in itself won't just solve the problem, because what we need to do is add it to a session. So what you need to do is you need to go to the session you want to add it to. So in this case, we want to add it to session 3. So here we go, session 3. I'm going to go to session 3 and I need to add it as an assessment task. So people know in session 3, okay, I've got something to do. So we've got an assessment survey here. So I go edit. I'm going to add activity. And I'm going to add a quiz to that session, which is a week 1 survey. So now what we've got is at the bottom of the page, if I go done, during that session now it's clear that on this day we've got an assessment task release, which is actually the week 1 survey. So when they click on that, it will take them to the quiz, which is the survey we've discussed. So this is a really important step, because it's not just about putting a quiz together that's going to be on there. Now we're actually attaching it to a class, so it's really clear for everyone when the survey needs to be done, so that we make sure that we've got those release times sorted out. So the final step, now that all that's set up, is what has to happen in class. So basically on that session, when the feedback is to be released, the academic coordinator needs to go into the class for obvious reasons, to take the pressure off the student, because obviously a large part of the feedback they're providing is about their trainer. So the academic coordinator needs to go in there for that 5 or 10 minutes when everyone does that feedback. So this is a pretty important step. If the academic coordinator isn't available for whatever reason, say they're out on the field or on leave, that's where the manager could come here. So it's important that we do that part as well. So again, I think this whole process should streamline. It takes away, by attaching feedback to sessions, it takes away a number of the variables around it, classes being on different dates and so on.